I didn't realize I turned my camera on. I was just going to sit there looking stupid for a while. And then I was going to say something like, hey, what's up, everyone? It's not even 6 o'clock yet. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to wait exactly zero point 0.0 minutes for the late people to join us before we get started. So let's go. Bobby Gray here, founder, fearless leader, back in his Falafel Express. It rides again. Joining you for another Tuesday night edition about TEXITcoin, my favorite thing. Let's get the bad news out of the way first. Bad news number one, I'm still sick. Was I sick last time we were here?
Maybe we were coming down with it.
I was just getting started being sick. And this is quite unusual for me because normally it's like 2-3 days and then it's gone. But I'm still sick today. In fact, I went and I got one of those IV drip things to give my immune system a boost so I could shake the tail end of whatever it is this thing is that I've got. So I'm sick, still sick, almost out of the woods. What's the other bad news, you ask? Oh, our sales for the last couple of days. OMG. Is it anything to worry about? Geez, I hope not. But man, we haven't seen numbers this bad since May
I joined
2024. It's been that long. It's like we spent everything we had on the last day of last week, the last day of the Rocketeers. Some gave all to accomplish a record 1,219 people joining us this past Saturday. Thank you so much, everybody, for waiting till 5:59 p.m. Central Time to put all your people in. Our friends over in enrollment really, really appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, it's a rough start to the week. And look, just so everyone knows, it's always like this. Anytime we conclude a promotion or a special offer or some sort of special incentive program, that's the positive side. The negative motivation is when we close out something. You know, when we close out and start a new comp plan version, then there's always a drop, like a instantaneous and gigantic drop the following week or two, as people kind of like make sense of the new rules and kind of get over the, I don't know, I wouldn't say frustration or the disappointment with the change, but it's usually a couple days to a week or two for people to make sense of the new rules. So let's talk about that real quick. And let's welcome the boosters to TEXITcoin.
Yeah.
We decided, was it on last week's call? It was on last week's call.
Yeah.
That you chose 92% of you or whatever chose the boosters as the name for the new group. So welcome, boosters. If you joined after 6 o'clock Central Time this past Saturday, you are what we call a booster. I didn't come up with the name. Somebody else did. I gave him 100 TXC for the idea. But you're a booster, and boosters are incredibly important in astrological exploration. You know, it's like you're trying to break Earth's gravitational orbit, if that's a real thing. I don't know. And blast us off into the unknown. Now, we have a problem because we mix up lots of metaphors. You know, sometimes we're like on the track going down high speed on this train that's unstoppable. Other times we're building a rocket and filling seats. Other times we're blasting off into the unknown with the boosters. One of these days we'll make sense of all of it, but I would definitely say that outer space is our primary metaphorical theme. And so the boosters joined us after Saturday at 6 o'clock. And really, they just have one teeny tiny little difference. Or would you say it's a gigantic difference?
It just depends on your effort.
Perspective. One difference. And I was asked to clarify this by my friend Byron. Thanks, Byron. Byron out there tonight? Let's see if Byron's out there. B-Y-R. Byron's out there. Byron, come join us over here on the panelist side. Tell us what this confusion's all about. Share with us this real world example of the question of what exactly is a booster and how much worse off are they? than everybody else that got into TEXITcoin early. What's up, Byron? We can't hear you, man. You're muted. You're going to have to unmute yourself. I'm asking you to
That
unmute.
certainly helps.
There you are. How you
Yeah,
doing?
so great question came up at our meeting, our public meeting last night, because the statement had been made that all the BOGO is gone. And so we had a little bit of powwow, whether it was the BOGO from the commission plan that's gone, or does it also include the BOGO on the 30-day, the 1, 2, free?
Yeah.
Within 30 days, you get your two mines or 200 mega hash.
Yeah.
So I was going with the fact that I only believe is the BOGO on our commission that's gone. I think we still have BOGO on the 30-day 1, 2, free.
It's a reasonable place to be confused. You mentioned it to me earlier, and I was like, no, it's just the one. Why would you? Oh, yeah, we have a double reward there too. So I can see where the confusion comes from. But let's pause real quick and say welcome to Byron. Byron is a new Ranger. We are up to what, 104 Rangers now? We got quite a community, 104, 106, something like that. We got quite a community of Ranger leadership. And Byron, I hope you don't mind if I make an example out of you here. I'm going to remove your pin so you're not like in the spotlight. But I want everyone that's out there helping us grow to be a Ranger. I want everyone that's actively involved with the growth of our community to be a Ranger. And that doesn't mean you have to be. It doesn't mean that you necessarily deserve to be. It just means that I want you to be, because we're looking at our community now and we've got, 53,221 as of the latest refresh. 53,221. And the question always comes up, 222. The question comes up all the time of like, well, how many of those people are actually like builders? How many people of that group are actually out there sharing our story, participating in the affiliate program, bringing on other people, hosting meetings in living rooms or barbecue joints or on Zoom calls? Like, I don't know. I looked through the report, the data in the system the other day with Tim, because Tim is heading up the Ranger program and he's doing a great job. He's traveling right now, or he'd be with us on this call. He might even be out there lurking in the background. But I looked at the data and there's something like, I don't remember. I don't want to guess. Okay, I'll guess. I think there's something like 1,500 miners, something around there. And please don't quote me on the number, but that's my recollection. 1,500 miners are actually involved in the affiliate program to the extent that they've brought on, introduced, sponsored 10 or more miners. And that's a pretty good number. You know, you'd like to think that everyone's out there crushing it. There's Tim.
There he is.
Tim, what was the number? I'm making things up over here. Are you on an airplane? I think he's on an airplane.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I thought I had that turned off. Yes. I'm going to click off here.
There's Tim on an airplane. Anyway, point is that, look, I designed this system from day one to be as little like a network marketing MLM company as I possibly could. And we made it so that you don't have to help us build and grow if you don't want to. But we also made it where that if you do want to help us build and grow, there's an incentive program, a reward system out there. And we've got 2 parallel reward systems. And you can participate in one or the other, or most people inadvertently, without even knowing it, participate in both. And so we set this up so that you could do it or you couldn't, or you could just skip it. You could take a ride on a rocket. You could put on your sleep mask. You could click the snooze button and just say, let me know in like a month or a year or whatever, how we're doing. But a big section of our community is actually out there helping us grow. And that's really great. And I want those people to be Rangers, because Rangerhood comes with some marketing money. We're bringing in all this money. We want to put some of it back out there to promote. Rob, you just jumped in an Uber earlier today and heard an advertisement come on the ticket. You want to share that story real quick?
Yeah, I was taking the Uber and one of our ads came on the ticket, and I said, "Oh, that's our project." And he says, what? And I said, the crypto project. And he goes, what, TEXITcoin? And I said, yeah. And he goes, man, you guys are everywhere. He goes, I can't escape. And so I got his number, and we'll reach out to him later with some videos and such. But you know, the stories are out there, man. Everybody's hearing about it.
Depending on how long ago you tuned in or how far back into our Zoom recesses history,
Zoom
history archives. Depending on how far back you go, you will know that some number of months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, I said, we have a 6-month goal for everybody across the state of Texas to know the name Texit Coin. It would be one thing, and it would be very easy for us to go out in a place where network marketing is incredibly popular, like South Korea or in the Philippines, and get those guys to fill up all the seats on the rocket ship and bring in all that money. But if your average Texan is not familiar with what Texit Coin is, then we've missed the mark. We've let ourselves down. We can build the mind here, but if it's not something that's relevant and important and meaningful to people in our communities, then we didn't really accomplish the goal. We've got a lot of work to do to accomplish the goal, and we're off, of course, to a great start. But the point is that we want people around the state of Texas to know what Texit Coin is. And so, we've got lots of ideas on how to put that marketing and promotion money to work, but we don't have all the ideas. And so we're looking to our community, we're looking to our leaders, and we're saying, what are the ideas that you have? Well, billboards work well, wrapped cars worked well, radio, all that stuff works well. But maybe there's a way that we can reach closer into your community, share the message on a more personal and individual level by spreading that marketing and promotion budget across this community. So now we have 104, 106 Rangers that have access to that money. So if you're out there and you're helping us build and grow, I want you to be a Ranger. We talked last week about the Ranger Roundup that just went down and what an amazing success that was. We put the next Ranger Roundup on the calendar, and we're already reaching out right now and inviting the people that are doing the very best of helping share our story and build and grow to that event. It'll be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 January, and hopefully we know who you are. If not, reach out. Let us know who you are if you think that you've been overlooked. And let's get you more involved with our leadership community. Learn exactly how we'd like to see you out there promoting and sharing our story. Learn from some of the very best in our community, and then get to work crushing this thing so that I'm not looking at 60 and 70 and 80 miners signing up in a day like in days past. But anyway, back to what Byron and I were talking about, because the big change for starting the booster.
Booster. Yeah, don't call them boomers.
The boomers. Well, at least they're not the no-goes. The big change for the boosters. Sorry, I'm sick. I get sick. I don't know. What do you call it when you give somebody a pass? I get like sick points or credits.
Yeah, you didn't even call in one day, and you were feeling crummy.
No sick days for falafel.
Setting an example.
Okay, so back to the boosters. The one change is that the boosters do not get the opportunity for BOGO in the Rapid Rewards program. So let's break that down, because it's confusing and it's got some terminology that may not make sense. We talked a moment ago about 2 parallel compensation plans. The first one is what we call the 1-2 free. That's refer 3 new miners to our community and get a free seat on the rocket ship, get a free 100 mega hash. Now, like Byron said, the question that's out there is, okay, what if I refer my first 3 inside of 30 days? I join, and then I refer 1 to free inside of 30 days. Do I still get 2 for 1 there? Yes, you do. And we don't call that BOGO. That's the 1-2 free, and we call it a fast start bonus if you do that inside of the first 30 days. Can I make a little sidebar mention here? This is a big can of worms, and I don't even know if I'm healthy enough to get into it tonight, but I'm going to try. Some time ago, we talked about the work that happens in the middle. We talked about the beginning of the project and filling the first 5% of the seats. And we talked about the end of the project and filling the last 5% of the seats. And we all know that if we accomplish our major goals, everyone is going to want to have a seat on the rocket ship. And, we might have to like auction off the last seat on the rocket because it's going to be so highly sought after. And so the beginning part is interesting in its own regard, and it's, exciting in its own way. The end part is exciting in its own way. The middle part is the hard part. And you would think that it would just get easier and easier and easier over time, but there's kind of like an inverse bell curve, or maybe it's a regular bell curve where like the difficulty, I don't know. There's probably a bell curve. But the point is that we're in the middle right now. And when we're in the middle, the glitz and glamour of the early days, where it was all about risk and upside and, the YOLO of it, and the glitz and glamour of the end, where it's all about being on a winning team and there are only so many seats left. Those things, we understand why they work. But the part in the middle is the hard part. And we're in the middle now. So after 5%, we're in what, 20, 21, 22% now?
21.
We're at 21. Weren't we like trying to refresh it on the call the other day and wait for it to update to go to like
yeah, you're trying to get to
21. We're trying to get to 21. We're 21% of the way there. And so we've got all the work to do now. And the work that we're doing is very seriously, heavily relying on our people, our community to participate in our affiliate marketing program. Okay. Call it network marketing, call it affiliate, call it reward, call it relationship. There's a zillion different things you can call it. Make no mistake about it. It smells a whole lot like an MLM for many reasons that we can or can't get into tonight if you're curious. But the point is that we're relying heavily on the community of people that see what we're doing, understand the dots that need to be connected in our world for this thing to be successful. How do we go from 5% to 95%? We go there through our affiliate marketing program. We get there by people participating in that program. What does that mean? It means that people have an incentive to go out there and share our story. We want them to be honest. We want them to tell the truth. We want them to be excited about it. We want them to be passionate. We want them to use the system and participate in the currency and all that stuff. But what really happens is at the end of the week, they're working to get their points so that they can get their commission, which pays out every week by Wednesday. Today, is Alex out there? Do we remember exactly how much? I think we paid out $1.429 million in commission today. Mm-hmm. If you have a USDC address and that USDC address hasn't changed since the last commission, you got paid today. Some people got paid extremely well because of a new bonus we created called Supernova. The Supernova bonus this week was $4,000. We'll come back to that in a few minutes. But the point is that this is what's driving our continued growth. So if you're participating and you're hearing us talk more about the affiliate program and the 1-2 frees and the fast starts and the rapid rewards and the points and the BOGOs or the lack thereof and all this stuff, it's because we're in the middle now. And the middle work, the hard work, is done by our committed community of people that want to see us successful. They don't want to do it because they like the lotion or the potion that we're pitching. They do it because they see those dots that we need to connect. And they're working day in, day out to share our story about these dots. What are the dots? The size of the mine equals the value of the coin. The bigger the mine, the more powerful and reliable the decentralized network, the more valuable the coin is in the marketplace. Those are the dots. They're extremely identifiable. They're extremely recognizable. They're extremely realistic. That's the same way it's worked for almost every other proof of work coin that's in existence today. The mine grows, the coin goes up in value. Part of it's based on the expense to actually mine the coin. Part of it's based on the trust that goes into the network as that network gets bigger and more reliable. And so the dots, as I call them, are the size of the mine is directly related to the value of the coin. That's what we call, kind of our combination of Gresham's law and the other law that I can't think of right now. What's the other one? Metcalfe's law. That's right. Those are the dots. And so there's a group of people, maybe 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 people that see those dots. They see the dots the way that I see them. They go, I get it. Bobby's got a plan. I don't know how committed or excited you are about honest money, but I've got a plan to actually get the most honest monetary system on planet Earth today, cryptocurrency. cryptographically secured, provable, transparent money, which planet Earth has never had before. I've got a plan for how we can build that system here in Texas. That's what it is. Those are the dots. If we build the community, we crowdsource the cash, we build the mine gets big, the coin gets valuable. That's my plan. That's Bobby's big gamble. And so, okay, so who sees it? Well, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 other people see that. And those people have an incentive to go out there week in, week out and share our story. It's work. And sometimes it's not fun, and sometimes it's not glamorous, and sometimes it feels like work. A lot of times it doesn't. A lot of times it's, hey, do you want to come and learn about crypto? Come have dinner with me. I'll buy. Let me teach you about crypto. Look in the eye of some of the other people that have, taken this little leap of faith and put some money into this plan of ours, and talk to them and see what their results are like. So it's not terrible work. It's not the worst work you could ever do, but it is work. So how do we show you that we appreciate the work? We have 2 reward programs. We have the 1-2 free. And in the 1-2 free, for every 3 new miners you refer, you get an extra seat on the rocket ship. Mom, dad, cousin, seat on the rocket ship. Coworker 1, coworker 2, buddy down at the bowling alley, another seat on the rocket ship. There is no limit to the number of 1-2 free rewards you can get. Now, it gets better. If you accomplish your 1-2 free inside of the first 30 days, you join on November 1st, you bring on your 1-2 free new miners before the end of the month, we give you what's called a fast start double bonus. So you get 2 seats. So if you put your $995 in, you get your 1 seat on the rocket, you dip a toe in the water. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for people to just try it out, find out if it's a scam. Then you bring on your 3 new miners inside of the first 30 days. You get a fast start double bonus. And the clock resets. So if you do that by, let's say, November 25th, we hit the reset button on the clock, and you have now another 30 days to get your next 1-2 free fast start double bonus. Every time you get a 1-2 free, the clock resets. So let's suppose you jump on board November 1st. It's December 15th. You got busy with the holidays. You didn't have an opportunity to take a look at it. You bring on your 3rd new miner. You get your bonus. Now, it's not a fast start bonus, but we hit the reset button. And so now you have from December 15th to January 15th to bring on your next 3 miners. If you do that before January 15th, you'll get a fast start double bonus, because every time you hit that 1-2 free bonus, the clock resets. That's it. That's our simple affiliate program. Just gives you an additional seat on the rocket ship for each 3 new miners you bring on. If you bring on those 3 miners inside of your first 30 days, we double the bonus. Now, every time you get that 1-2 free bonus, the clock resets. And if you bring on another 3 inside of 30 days, you get the double bonus. So if you lose the double bonus, no big deal. You can always earn it back later. That's what we call the fast start 1-2 free bonus. So the 1-2 free bonus is based on number of miners that you refer. Now, if you refer somebody that grabs the builder plan, the 9-pack, the 9+2 as it exists today, we give you the 1-2 free automatically. Why? Because the builder plan comes with 3 tracking centers. What's a tracking center? A tracking center is one of those things where we're counting your points. And so if you understand what affiliate or referral or network or MLM marketing is, and you know what points are, and you don't mind drawing out those circles and lines on the whiteboard that starts looking like a pyramid, then you might be interested in the builder plan. The builder plan is for real people out there that really want to engage our affiliate program and want to really help us build and grow. Now, if you join and you put in your $995 and you dip a toe in the water in 30 days, inside of the first 30 days, you go, oh, this thing's actually pretty easy. Maybe I should upgrade to the builder plan. We'll let you upgrade to the builder plan inside of the first 30 days. We'll still give you the 2 extra spots, and we'll also give you the +2 free seats. Right now we have the 9+2. Does that make any sense? I might be saying stuff everybody already knows and they're all getting annoyed. But long story short is we have the 1-2 free referral bonus. That's it. Now, let's go to the other side. the parallel compensation programs. The other one is what we call rapid rewards. And that's the one where if you get 3 points on your left and 3 points on your right, as a minor, a point, not really. A point is a seat. So if you bring on mom and mom gets 1 seat and dad gets 1 seat and your cousin gets 1 seat, that's 3 minors and 3 points. But if your mom grabs a 3-pack, dad gets a 9-pack, that's 12 points. And then your coworker gets a 3-pack, well, you're up to 15 points. And so points are seats. And we only count the paid seats. So if somebody gets a 9 plus 2, that only counts as 9. Anyway, on the other side of the reward program, we've got the rapid rewards. And the rapid rewards counts the points that you have on the one side, the points that you have on the other side. And if you get 3 points on the left and 3 points on the right, it's worth $1,000. If you get 6 points on the left and 6 points on the right, it's worth $2,000. If you get 9 points on the left and 9 points on the right, it's worth $3,000. And that's where it maxes out. Now, there's a couple catches and gotchas. And that's really an important distinction as well with what we do, because we tell you what the gotchas are. Gotcha number 1, we stop counting at 9 and 9. If you get 287,000 points on one side and 624,000 on the other side, it's 9 and 9. That's it. We stop counting at 9, and that's what prevents us from being a pyramid. A pyramid is the thing where the guy at the top makes all the money and the guys down at the bottom don't get anything. We've designed this the opposite way, where the guys at the bottom can make just as much as the guy at the top, and it's pretty easy to do that. 9 points left, 9 points right. That's where the comp plan maxes out. That's our gotcha, right? Points reset every Saturday. Unpaid points roll over to the following week. If they pay, they deduct, and they're gone. Now, the other gotcha that we have recently created is that you can't get paid unless you're also out there sponsoring. So if somebody sets you up here and they put a bunch of points here and a bunch of points there, but you never did anything, you don't have any what we call commission potential. So if you don't have any commission potential, those points go away. You don't get paid for them. So we want to make sure that no one is taking out more money than they've brought in. So if you bring on 3 points on the one side, that's $3,000. 3 points on the other side, that's $6,000. $6,000 in, you qualify for $1,000 commission back out your way. And your commission potential is reduced from 6,000 to 5,000. 6,000 in, 1,000 out. You can see the easy math. So if you go out there and you bring on your 3 and your 3, you qualify for another $1,000. 6,000 more in, another 1,000 out. Your commission potential jumps up from 5,000 to 6,000, and then, or sorry, 5,000 to 11,000, and then drops down when you get paid to 10,000. So you can see the relationship there. And again, we've built this to be a healthy system where no one's able to take out more than they've brought in. That's what we call commission potential. It's our other gotcha. You can't get paid for free stuff. Well, why would you? Well, let's suppose that somebody you bring on over here goes out and they start doing their 3 and 3. Well, we count all those points all the way down to infinity. And so if your team takes off on this side and your team takes off on this side, well, next week you might not have done anything, but you got 3 points on one side and 3 points on the other side, and there's your $1,000. Whoa. I didn't do anything. Well, it's okay. You've brought us 6,000, and then your guys went out there and did something. So you have $1,000 of commission, and we deduct that from your cash or your commission potential. Your commission potential goes from 5 to 4. Sweet. The next week they go out and do it again. 3 points this side, 3 points that side. You take the $1,000, your commission potential goes from 4 to 3, and 3 to 2, and 2 to 1. And then all of a sudden you go, oh, well, I don't want this to stop. How do I keep it going? Go out there and sponsor people again. Oh, okay. I see how this pattern continues. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's how it works. It's simple. It works. We pay out millions of dollars on a regular basis. The system is really ingenious. I made it myself. And a lot of people are very happy with it. Some people are frustrated that it maxes out. And we've been watching our system. You know, if you go back, let me share my screen here real quick. If you take a look historically, and if you remember back in these calls, you remember that I'm always, especially in the early days, not so much anymore, but I'm always watching this relationship between the commission and revenue. You know, in whatever this week is, at the end of August, we had $5.6 million in revenue against $2.25 million in commission. Well, 225 over 5.6 is way below 50%. 225 over 5.6. 225 over 5.6. That's only 40%. So on that week, there was an extra $500,000 of money in the commission budget that didn't get paid out. And so I've been studying these things for a while, and I feel good enough at this point about the relationship between commission and revenue where I put a new bonus together. I call that new bonus Supernova. And we had some conflicting terminology for a while. Well, isn't your comp plan called Supernova and blah, blah. We got to figure it out now. Supernova, it may be a little bit too complex for me to explain with like cold brain, but Supernova is if we run the commission, we do the points, we count it all up, we do the deductions. Some people get the 3 points left and the 3 points right. And they've got 3 options at that point. Would you like to take your commission in cash, USDC? Would you like to take it in Texit Coin, TXC? Or would you like to take it in a hash power upgrade? Now, we didn't always have hash power upgrade as an option. We introduced it way, way, way back early on as something that we put into to play to help us with our cash flow in the early days, long before we were profitable. Remember, we launched this in April of 2024. It wasn't until November of 2024 that we stopped living off of Bobby Bet the Farm money on this thing. And so when we were really struggling with cash flow in the early days and then putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into useless parties in Austin, try not to remember.
It was a great taco.
Oh man, we had leftovers for months. And I think everyone got sick from that event too. But in the early days, we struggled with cash flow. And so we said, well, how about this option? What if we give people a one-time opportunity to upgrade their hash power beyond what they're able to buy with cash? So you're only allowed to buy 9 seats. Now, anything more than that, you got to earn. So you got to either earn it through our 1-2 free, the reward program, the first sponsorship reward program, or through the rapid rewards program. If you have a commission, you get 3 left, 3 right, and you take that commission in hash power. How about that? People are like, well, maybe, but give me some incentive. Well, the incentive is we'll give you 2 for 1. So the incentive is this is your only way to acquire more hash power outside of the 1-2 free, and we'll give you 2 for 1. We called it BOGO. And that came to an end last Saturday at 5:59 p.m. Are you making noise over there, Rue?
I did.
Are you TikToking while we're trying to have a meeting?
I was actually looking up a Facebook video.
We need you to be present.
So I can help the affiliates. Sorry.
And so BOGO, as it was known for, I don't know, close to a year and a half, has now come to an end. So worry not, boosters, boomers, boosters, worry not. We still have hash power as a commission option. So if you do your 3 left and your 3 right, and you're eligible because you have enough commission potential to get paid a commission, you can take it in USDC, you can take it in TXC, or you can take it in hash power. If you're a booster and you choose to take it in hash power, you get 100 extra mega hash. You get 1 additional seat. And that is the difference, the only difference for our new friends that we call boosters. Boosters, thank you very much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure that you've decided to participate in our community. I hope that these people that are coming on now, these new miners that are coming in the middle during the hard part, are excited about rolling up your sleeves and helping us grow. Because there are still, who could be calling me at this hour? There are still Texit Coin fortunes to be made. The good days are still here. It is still extremely early in our journey. Even if you picked up the very last seat on the rocket ship, you are the millionth seat. You take the very last 100 mega hash. You're still early in our journey because our journey is all about honest money, and everyone on planet Earth can benefit from good, honest money. It is our responsibility to spread the message of peace and prosperity with everyone on the face of this earth. And so whether you're first on the rocket like my daughter or you're last on the rocket some number of months from now, you still have an opportunity for a tremendous upside with Texit Coin. Now, we're at 21% today. Back in the beginning, we used to talk about 62,500 TXC. Why? Because we got a plan that takes us up to $16. If you have 62,500 TXC and the plan to $16 is successful and it works, $16 times 62,500 TXC is $1 million. Everyone wants to be a millionaire. But the number is different because back when we were starting this thing, it was fantastical to talk about $16 TEXITcoin. Today, not so much. So what's the number today? Well, I have a high level of confidence that we'll reach $800 a coin. It's just as fantastical to say 800 today as it was to say $16 a year and a half ago. So let it sink in a little bit. Let it roll around, chew on it for a little while. And if you take $1 million, which everyone would love to have an extra $1 million, and you divide it by $800 TXC, it's only 1,250 TXC. So roll up your sleeves. Identify those dots. If we build the mine and we have the cash flow, we have the marketing budget, if we have the liquidity, if we have the mine, if we have all these things that we're able to accumulate through this crowdsourcing effort, you get your 1-2 freeze, you get your points, you get your cash, all those things coming your way. You build up a couple thousand TXC along the journey. We do the work that we said we were going to do. We follow through on the commitment and the promises we made to you. I'm highly confident that we can get this thing to $800 and beyond. And we're just getting started. Anyway, that's still an opportunity here in TEXITcoin. You're still extremely early. So even if you're 21% or 22% or 23%, I'm hoping that the people that are joining us now, the boosters that are joining us now, say, yeah, okay, I get it. I put my money in. I can't buy a top mining position at this point. If I want to be one of the biggest miners of TEXITcoin, I'm going to need to roll up my sleeves and help this project get to where it needs to go. Because the only way that we get there is by working together, me as your founder, as the guy with the plan, you as the person that sees the opportunity and decides to share the story and the message with your friends, your family, your relatives, all that stuff. So the reality of the situation is that as we get into and through the work, I'm going to be relying more and more heavily on you guys, the Lone Star Rangers, our Texit Rangers, our community of miners out there that are actively building and growing, and the new miners that just joined today, all 7 of you, to really look into this thing, do a deep dive, understand what you got yourself into, come to the conclusion as quickly as you can that it's not a scam, it's not a meme coin, it's not a pump and dump, it's not a rug pull, it's not a Ponzi, it's not a pyramid, it's not all those things that we see so frequently throughout this industry. It's a real project that's rooted in the idea of honest money. My life's work trying to accomplish the goal of establishing an alternative currency, learning from my errors, realizing that cryptocurrency is the fastest, most honest, most accountable, easiest to use possibility out there on planet Earth for us today. Taking that knowledge, that passion, and sharing that story with everyone else. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's annoying, sometimes they don't want to listen, but the proof is in the pudding. The more we do, the more legitimate our project becomes. That's not a fake it till you make it. It's a, look, the proof is in our work. We told you that we were going to build the mine. We're building the mine. We told you we were going to promote the coin. Look at all the promotion work that we're doing. There's an article that came out about us. TEXITcoin says that they promote their coin. We haven't seen any sign of that. I'm like, really? What country are you in? But like, you can't like every like journey in the US now goes through some hub, LAX, DFW, Orlando, Houston. Like, we're in all of them, all the big ones. The only ones that we're not in yet are Denver and Atlanta and New York. So they're on the hit list. Denver is already going to happen. But that just leaves Atlanta and New York. Let's get somebody on that. We need coverage. We've got massive promotion stuff that's already bought, paid for, in the works. December 6th is a big day for us. Is that the right date? December 6th.
Yeah.
The Dallas Holiday Parade.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of great stuff. And of course, every week, week in, week out, we pay our commissions on time, every time. Whether the bank closes our account, whether Bobby's not feeling well, we get you guys paid because we know that you guys are doing the hard work for us to reach our goals. And we thank you for that. And that's TEXITcoin in a nutshell. Again, you probably already knew it, but in my sick mind, that was about as much as I could cook up on. What little brain processing power I have left today.
It's still early. It's still such a great opportunity. It is wonderful.
20%.
Yeah, we're early. And people get, they get hung up on the price, but a half a coin today could be worth $400 in the future. You don't know. So take the opportunity, everyone. If you care about people in your life, take this opportunity this Thanksgiving. Don't start with politics. Don't start with that one. Start with Texit Coin.
Start with money. Money transcends all this stuff. Look, if you need to get agreement around the table, how many people here are broke? How many people would like to not be as broke as they are? People are really struggling. That's one of the difficult things I think we've got to deal with, that we're living inside of the TXC bubble right now. We got game over giveaways, Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, Bentleys, and supercars, and new Mercedes Benzes, and it's just Porsches. We're doing really, really well, and so it's easy to kind of lose track of the rest of the country and how much everyone else is struggling. How many people do you know that are really doing well right now? We're doing great. And hopefully you're one of the people that's doing great along with us. But start with money. Remember, that's how I got to where we are today, by realizing that, you can argue about politics all day long, but, in that discussion, as long as there's one guy that's in control of the money printer and he's able to give the money out to whatever candidate he wants to win, that guy's probably going to be in a position of power. And unless and until the money is honest, it's going to be really tough to actually have a real debate, a real, conversation or sharing of the ideas when everyone can be bought so easily with fake money. It's like, imagine a day when money has to be earned, money has to be real, and you can't sway the outcome of elections or stuff with, with money that you just cooked up off the printer press. That would be an interesting day. I'd like to see that day. And hopefully that day comes in our lifetime because of the work that we're doing together in the realm of honest money. And we talked about that just a moment ago. Or maybe it wasn't us, it was somebody, I don't know. But we talked about how we're trying to educate people about cryptocurrency. Texit Coin is our version of cryptocurrency. Texit Coin is what I've put together based on everything that I've learned about cryptocurrency, how great it is, but how terrible of an idea it is that we allow that to be controlled by some foreign entity. So we have everything we need here in Texas to build our own crypto. And, I just saw a video come out with some other guy promoting some, giant Bitcoin mining facility. It's like, man, you're so close. You understand the importance of crypto, honest money. Let's make Texit Coin. The fact that they don't see what we see is kind of good because we don't have any competition. And I don't think it'll always be that way. So it's our responsibility to get as big as we can, as fast as we can, so that, when the competitors show up, they go, why beat them when we can join them? Or why try to beat them? Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. Rising tide.
All the ships.
Rising tide and all the ships. And so money is at the root of all this stuff. So talk about money. Talk about honest money. Talk about Texit Coin and its mission to establish what Bitcoin originally promised us: digital, decentralized, peer-to-peer currency, money for the people, by the people, money that's cryptographically controlled. We know exactly how many of them there are every day. We know who gets them. We know exactly what we have to do to participate in that system. Honest Money has got something in there for everybody. And share that story with your family and friends this Thanksgiving. Speaking of which, that means we're not doing a Thursday night call. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll probably be in a turkey
correct.
coma.
Tim's here. Tim's lurking.
I'm listening. I'm actually at the airport, and I just walked by one of the TXC signs. So that was really cool.
Prove it.
Yeah, let's see it.
Well, I'm already past it now. Now I'm somewhere else.
Like my
waiting for
story.
luggage.
Get your
Yeah.
steps in, man. Come
Fake
on.
news.
Hey, but yeah, we've decided to take off and not do the Thursday night call this week since that is Thanksgiving.
Yes, correct. And we hope you guys have a very healthy, very happy, very safe Thanksgiving. Please be careful out there. The world's a little wild these days. Apparently, people are driving at high speeds through parking lots and schools and taking out cars in Texas. Please enjoy responsibly. Have all the fun, and then we'll jump back into a call on Tuesday. Okay, so what do we want to talk about tonight? I wanted to talk about welcoming our boosters. Okay, let's talk real quick about Supernova, because a bunch of people mentioned Supernova a bunch of times. And this is a new one. This is a newer one. We paid out $280,000 this past week. Week 86 was a $280,000 Supernova bonus. So let's talk about it. I'm trying to think of the easiest way to like screen share and show you what Supernova bonus is, but I don't think I can. Not with the current brain power that I've got. So I'm going to explain it. Okay, it goes like this. Remember, the goal of the comp plan is to max out. And it's a little bittersweet when you max out. When you're first building, you're struggling to get every point. Oh man, I got 3 points on one side. I can only get 2 on the other side. I need that last point. Well, once you get that third point and you qualify for your $1,000 commission, those points flush. And you start the next week over at 0-0. If you have, let's say, 4 points on your one side and 3 points on your other side, the 3 and 3 pay out and you start the next week with 1 point. Okay, so your goal is to acquire points in the rapid rewards compensation plan. Remember, that's different from the 1-2 free. So let's talk about rapid rewards. 3 points left, 3 points right, $1,000. You got to have your commission potential, but you got your commission potential, 3 left, 3 right, $1,000. Okay, so it's now commission time. Commission runs at 6 o'clock Central Time on Saturday. The system goes 3 points left, 3 points right. Great job. You have $1,000 commission. Would you like that in USDC, TXC, or hash power? Now, when you first sign up, the system will default you to USDC. I think we now have the drop down on the enrollment form on the website.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I just thought of something. Okay, I'll get back to that. We have the drop down on the website where you can actually pick your commission default. If you say USDC by Wednesday, 5 o'clock, with a valid USDC address on file, reminder, we'll send it out to you instantly, quickly. Maybe it's going to your crypto cold storage wallet. Maybe it's going to your MetaMask. Maybe it's going to your Kraken. Maybe it's going to your Coinbase. We send you the USDC. If you have Texit coins selected, we'll send you the TXC. Same thing. But if you have hash power selected, we put in a new sale, and you'll see that hash power show up in your sales list. And because you took that $1,000 that you could have taken as cash, but you put it back in to buy an additional seat, possibly even over that 9-seat limit, that's the only time you have to do it other than the 1-2 freeze. But if you put that in, we count it as new cash. We count it as a sale. And that's why if you're looking at the sales for the new week on like Saturday night at 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock, you're like, man, how did we do $1.8 million in sales this week already? That's crazy. It's only been the new week for like 2 hours. It's because we count all those hash power commissions as a new sale. We count it as new money in. It's like we gave you the money and then you turned around 3 times real quick and in a millisecond and you gave it right back to us. So we count it as a sale. We wrestled with whether or not we should count that as a sale for a long time. The answer is yes. We count it as a sale. We count it as new money in, and we award a point. If you did 3 and 3 and you get that 100 mega hash bonus, it's worth 1 point. If you get the 200, it's worth 2 points. If you get the 300, it's worth 3 points. Now, guys, bear with me here as I talk about this. Remember, as we talk to the boosters and welcome the boosters to our program, the boosters are getting 100, 200, or 300 mega hash. They're getting 100, or they're getting 1 point, 2 points, or 3 points. If you came on as a Rocketeer or an early adopter or a launchy or a Founders Club and you get that, you get BOGO. So you get 1 point. You would get a 200 mega hash sale that was worth 1 point, or a 400 mega hash that was worth 2 points, or a 600 mega hash that was worth 3 points. Okay, so we're only counting 1 point for that BOGO. So again, as we talk about this now, we're going to use the new language. And so if you take your commission as hash power and you take that extra seat and get that extra point, we count it as new money in and we put a new point on the board. So everybody above you now is going, yo, a new point showed up. Thanks. And so what happens is if you max out instantaneously, as soon as the new week starts, you get your 9 points on your left and your 9 points on your right. We award you the Supernova bonus. Okay, well, how do I get 9 points on the left and 9 points on the right if the week just started? Well, suppose you brought on someone and you teach this new person, let's say it's a coworker. You bring on your coworker and you teach your coworker how to share our story. You tell them about our reward programs, the 1, 2 free. You teach them about our rapid rewards. And they go, well, this is great. I love this kind of thing. I've never made any money ever before in any other kind of network marketing company, but this one seems doable. Let me try it. And they go out and they start building and they go, well, that's great. Boom, take my first commission in USDC. I got my cash back. I'm playing with house money now. Perfect. Okay, take your next commission in USDC. You got some cash to show for your work. Take your next commission in USDC. Well, sooner or later you go, well, hold on. My mining reward daily seems to be going down. Well, yeah, that's because we're succeeding and the mine is growing and your little sliver of the pie is getting smaller, smaller, smaller. Well, how do I get more hash power? Well, you've already earned as much as you can through the 1, 2 free bonus. You could buy up to the 9 total seats, or you can earn additional ones through the rapid rewards program. Oh, okay, I'll do that. Great. So if you take that 3 left, 3 right, or 6 or 9 or left, right commission as hash power, we put an additional point on there, which benefits the person that sponsors you and all the people that are also above you. So they're getting points now instantaneously because you chose, or your coworker chose, to take their commission, their one-time commission, in a hash power upgrade. Okay, so if points are accumulated through hash power upgrades, and that happens 9 times on the left and 9 times on the right, and you max out as soon as the week starts. So the week starts at 6 o'clock on Saturday Central Time. At 6:01, you've already maxed out. You're looking at it and saying, well, that's silly. I don't have to do any work this week at all because I've already maxed out my 9 left, my 9 right. Boom. We call that Supernova. Okay, how much is the Supernova bonus? Well, there are a couple levels to it. Level 1, Supernova bonus is $1,000. If you get Supernova, you get $1,000. Now, if we beat last week's numbers, Supernova bonus is $2,000. If we beat last week's numbers by 10%, Supernova bonus is $3,000. If you look back at last week, not week 86 that we just completed, but week 85 over here, we did 5.43 million. Did we beat it? No, we didn't beat it by 10%. Did we beat it by 10%? I don't think we did.
It was barely above, yeah.
I thought it was, but I don't know. I guess it was only $1,000. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, for example, we beat it, but we didn't beat it by 10%.
Right.
So we beat it. So the Supernova bonus 2 weeks ago in week 85 was $2,000.
Yeah.
If we beat it by 10%, it's a $3,000 bonus. So there's incentive, even though you've already maxed out, for you to go out there and work because the bonus gets bigger the better we do. If we beat last week's numbers by 20%, then the Supernova bonus is $4,000. Now, this is interesting, right? This is funny because last week we crushed it. 7.6 over 543. Let's do the math. 7.6 over 543. We beat it by almost 40%, 39.96%. My guess is I didn't round it here and use the exact actual number. We probably beat last week's numbers by 40%. And so when I was communicating the Supernova bonus with people, I put ... in there because, maybe the Supernova bonus is $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000. And so I didn't clarify. So I left it kind of open-ended. And so everyone's like, well, we beat it by 30, 40%. Does that mean it's $5,000 or $6,000? And I'm like, no. JK LOL. Didn't clarify. So one thing to consider about the Supernova bonus is that it's not written in stone. It never has been. We came up with it a couple weeks ago to try something out. It was $1,000 the first week. The second week it was $3,000. The third week it was $3,000. Then we changed it and said, well, let's make it a little bit more performance based, so there's some incentive to actually work harder. And so I'm gonna keep messing with it. And you want to know why? It's kind of a sad thing. I hope she's not listening. But my wife Supernova this past week.
Oh, good for her.
She's Supernova, and she hasn't referred anyone in like 2 months. And I'm like, how is that possible? Well, she's built a team, and her team's doing extremely well, and good for her. But like, she hasn't done anything in a while, and I think that's a little bit unfair that she got that big bonus. And it's not that, like, I don't want her to have the money. We're doing very well, but it's like I would like that money to go to somebody that's actually really working hard. So how do you tell the difference between somebody that's working hard and somebody that's not working hard? I don't know. Is my wife working hard? Babe, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. Please not be listening right now. But as we refine these bonuses, we're looking for opportunities to make sure that the bonuses go into the pockets of the people that are doing the most. Now, does my wife deserve a bonus? Probably. I don't know. But I would love for her to get $1,000 bonus and somebody else to get a $10,000 bonus. So we're going to keep working on it, refining it, coming up with ways to improve it so that the guys that are doing the most to help us build and grow get the biggest rewards. Now, an interesting thing about Supernova bonus, you can't take it in hash power. It's only a cash bonus. And so, that's one of those things where people say, all right, I'll take my regular commission in hash power upgrades. That puts points on the board. It helps all the people above me get closer to those Supernova bonuses. And then I'll take my Supernova bonus in cash. And so, look, we made this thing up. I took what I learned from my friend Jerry, and I took what I hated about network marketing, and I made this comp plan. And it's done extremely well. The fact that it hasn't died at all in the last 85, 86, 87 weeks, unbelievable. The fact that so many people are happy with it and so many people are doing well with it, really great. And so the most important thing that we have to do is protect this little goose of ours that's laying the golden egg. But I want to keep an eye on the Supernova bonus because I want the bonus to reward the people that are doing a great job helping us build and grow. A lot of really great network marketers are finding us, joining us, and their number one complaint is like, hey, look, there's just not a lot of meat on the bone. And I'm like, that's because the comp plan is designed for anyone to be successful. Bring on your 3 left, your 3 right, get your $1,000, like we have an amazingly rewarding comp plan, and I want to keep it that way. And the way that it stays that way is by not bloating it at the top for the guys that, joined early. We want everyone to have access to the really great features of our comp plan. But I do want to say welcome and congratulations to my new number 2. Am I allowed to talk about this? Is he out there? And when I say number 2, I do mean miner number 0000
Whoa.
002. I don't know if he's out there. But guys, quick story for you. My daughter, when I was cooking this thing up in the spare bedroom, January, February, March of last year, my daughter was the first money in. And she said, Dad, your ideas are usually pretty crazy. This one's by far the weirdest, but I'm in. And she just made some money on some real estate stuff that she was doing. She got a realtor license at age, 18, 19. And so she was first money in. She bought miner position number 1. And then she didn't do anything to support our mining community that was growing, and I kicked her out and I made her number 2. And I took number 1. But she's miner number 2. And she's been doing a really great job working on the right side of our network. She had the entire right side of the community underneath her. And she and Trey got out there and they started developing relationships and went on the road for a little while. And made some really great friends, some really great connections, and ended up recruiting one of the most successful network marketers, I think, that exists on planet Earth. And we took a little while getting to know each other. And I don't, is he here? Is that you? Is that you?
Yeah, He's there if you want to add him as a panelist. I
I'm
just
going
see
to add
him
him as a
chime in.
panelist. See if he wants to say hello. He doesn't have to. Last time he said hello, he stole the stage. And that was like really kind of embarrassing for me. But anyway, I call him Brig. And when word started getting around that Mr. Brig himself had decided to join the Texit Coin community, everyone said, "Oop, it's all over now. Watch out. Oh, yeah, we got this." And so there he is, ladies and gentlemen. There he is, miners. I didn't tell him I was going to mention him, but these calls have a way of going in many and numerous directions that are often unplanned. Are you hanging out in your garage right now? Are you in the
Nice.
are you in the man cave?
It's below.
Okay.
It's below. We're up
Well,
in,
thank you very much. I want to tell you that you made a very happy young lady today, and over the last couple of days as we've been working through this. She earned everything that she has. She really took the initiative that I asked her to do for a long time. It took her a while. Sometimes people don't get started as quickly as I want them to. But she went out there and she put in the effort. And, I'd like to think that I did a good job at parenting to, teach her the connection between what you want and what you get, and how that, that gap is often bridged by hard work. And, she put in the work, she put in the effort. She did a great job, but she is now no longer miner number 2. And instead now, my friend Brig is miner number 2. And quite a responsibility you have. With great low numbers comes great responsibility, because you've got the entire right side of our organization now relying on your leadership. Do you have any words of encouragement for team right leg?
maybe. Never short on words.
I was going to say, you're the only guy that I've ever seen on stage talk about God, your man parts, and killing horses and get away with it, with the crowd just desperate for more.
that
has never happened before.
That was time tested. I've had some that didn't go over so well. So I brought my A game there.
Well, it was great. You and I met for the first time that night, and I went up to you and I said, "Hey, I don't really have much planned. I very rarely do, but would you mind coming up and joining me up on stage here for a few minutes to talk about your beautiful car and, your engaging TEXITcoin in a leadership position, because this is trust. This is, you guys are trusting me to make good decisions and be a good steward of the risk that you've taken. And in turn, now I'm trusting you, and I'm trusting you because, and you've heard me say it before. I'm sure this community has heard it before. I've never done this before. I don't really know how to do this. I'm just a guy that's on a mission to save the world. And, it's like, well, how do you get there? Well, I tried it one way, the really hard way, for a long time. I was smacking out gold and silver coins, trying to get fairs and festivals and communities to barter the old fashioned way. And, it was successful. It was successful enough to, take me around the world and all that stuff. But I've never tried to build a community. And one of the biggest things that I've learned about this project is the importance of community. I've got 53,000 people now that have my back. I got 53,000 people now that have a vested interest in my success. Our financial fates and our futures are intertwined. If I win and everybody else loses, it doesn't work. We have to win together. I've got 53,000 people now that are holding me accountable, that are watching the numbers, that are analyzing the results, that are looking at the wallets, that are extremely easily identifiable, that are reading the reports every week and deciding if I'm doing what I said I was going to do. And I've never had that before. And I wish I would have known earlier. Of course, I probably would have messed it up, but I wish I would have known earlier how important it is to have a voice. and how important it is to have a community of people that are passionate about the same things that I am. And you know how to build that community. You know how to do the thing that I've done over the last year and a half, kind of by accident. So I've got a lot to learn from you, and I'm relying on you, and I'm counting on you, and I'm hoping, and I'm trusting, and I'm praying that that you're involved in this project for the same reasons that I am. To make money, to have a lot of fun, and to help bring a lot of people together. We live in this post-COVID world now where like we have to remind each other to like get off the couch and go out and go shake somebody's hand and look them in the eye and decide if they're being honest with you. You're like, go make friends, go roller skating or go have dinner with some people. I think people are finally now just beginning to come out of their shells. My friends told me that I could never have done this the old-fashioned way, living room to barbecue joint. You know how to do this. I don't. And so I am really counting on you, at least for the right side of our network. I'm
going to sign off
over there.
Okay.
You've got quite a good and growing community, a lot of Floridians over there. And I don't know if you saw the website that I updated to show you exactly how many Floridians we have now. 7.39% of you, 3,931, have identified Florida as being your state. So you got a lot of those people over there on the right side that are looking up to you and saying, hey, you know how to do this. Teach us, train us, guide us, show us, help us. And I hope you're ready for that.
Give me the ball.
I love it.
Give me the ball. All I know is I want to go over that goal line with you.
Well, here's one thing that's on my list that I want to talk about. So feel free to hide in the background there if you don't want to be on camera for a moment. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and this is because of you, just so you know, one of the things I wanted to talk about is the fact that we added ACH and paper checks now as a payment option because we want this thing to be as unbridled for growth as possible. And we've said for a long time that our project is all about education. And we're going to talk more about that. And this is even more important now than ever with you being a part of our community. But we talk about how education, teaching people about money, like, hey, they didn't teach you about money when you were in school. They didn't teach you about debt and borrowing and interest payments and all this stuff. Like, we don't know about money. And so we want to teach people about money. We want to teach people about good money. We want to teach people about cryptocurrency. And that education process can't happen completely before they join our community. I think it's overly burdensome to expect people to figure out how to get into crypto before we teach them the safe and easy way to get into crypto. And so we added ACH and we added paper check as payment methods on the website, on the front end, because we understand that if you're getting a community of people together, you're inviting them to join us, that it's unreasonable to make them go out of their way to figure out something that they should and could be learning together with us. And so that's a big change that we added on the website. We did it just a couple of days ago. We did it in conjunction, or I guess just shortly after we upgraded the website for the first time ever. And so maybe you noticed the MindTXC is a whole new site that integrates some of our charts and data and other components to really show people that you're inviting to check out the website how far we've come. And there's a lot more coming. This is, version 2.0 or 2.1. And so there's a lot more coming. We've got people now working on new pages to add to this to show off our proof, the mine, our promotional work, and also our community as it comes together. And so a lot of big stuff happening now in websites, long overdue. You've been asking, I've been promising for a while. But again, a big part of that is accepting payment by ACH or paper check so that you, Brig, can go out there and do what you want to do. I don't know what you do best yet, but I'm imagining it's getting people to come together and pay attention.
You bet. You bet. Bobby, that was huge. That was a big stall for us. And, because us older guys, you nailed it. much earlier, a couple weeks ago, it's all new to us. And, then when we shifted to crypto only, we were getting there. We had some great, input and understanding, and we knew why. But guess what? We did everything we knew to do, but still hitting block, and all of a sudden we stalled. We just couldn't figure it out, and we were concerned. And Lita's my financier. I catch them, she skins them, she puts them in and collects the money, is responsible, and she was so concerned because we don't like owing anybody anything.
Yeah.
And, we're peers, and we felt very responsible. So that was huge. And you know what that was? That was a test. You listened, and we knew. You said, hey, just hang tight. We'll come up with a solution. And you did. Let me give you one other thing. We are going to, my kind of background and expertise, though it be in network marketing, I started at zero just like everyone else. I'm still learning today, because if you're not ever evolving, you're not going to keep up in this industry with new tools and technology and new terminology and logistics and all the things that are changing so rapidly. You gotta stay up, stay young, and stay hip. Well, that's been my expertise. My expertise is taking complicated things and making them very simple. Because me at about and I don't know what, you've heard people kind of say, maybe the 5th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade, I don't know. All I know is this: I didn't graduate high school, they let me out. And I, like you, Bobby, I had to learn street smarts, and I'm a survivor. But I've turned surviving into thriving, because I said, I can help other people overcome if I teach them what I did, so they don't have to go through the same issues. And the Marine Corps taught me a bit. They said, if you're going to walk through a minefield, follow somebody at a distance. and here's what I've known. I've learned, I'm still learning every day from people's mistakes. And I watch, and I'm not big on being busy, as most people are. Tim held one of the greatest things, that Ranger meeting. I came away so fired up, I left early. And Bobby's calling, so, hey, where are you? I said, I'm going home. I'm going to work. I'm all fired. and I'm telling you, Bobby, since I hit the ground, I think Tim's going to have something available to you, and your talk next week. Even though Thanksgiving, shoot, I'm having a meeting tomorrow. I'm having a meeting on Thanksgiving. Man, I'm thankful. What a great way to start the conversation. Let me tell you what I'm most thankful for.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And so taking a business, I've never had the opportunity, never in my career have I had the opportunity to start at zero. I was never the first guy in. So thank you for the opportunity. People are asking if we took over your daughter's. No, I was offered a position, and she valued it. And I felt like this will be the best investment I have made outside of my initial investment that I made in Texit Coin. But I believe this will be the greatest investment. And Lita and I believe in involving ourselves fully and wholly. We follow where we throw our money, man, that's where we go in, and we are vested big time.
Yeah.
My point is that I've never had the opportunity to start at zero. Most people say, well, you got in early. Well, yeah, I got in early. I got in at $2.11, 8 of 8. But I promise you this, I wasn't the first. There's a lot of other people that are much further ahead. And that's why I'm telling Texas, don't look back. Because Florida's coming.
Yeah.
Not awesome. Being prideful or anything. It's just, I'm a believer. I'm going to build at home. I'm going to build the model, prove the model. Then I'm going to replicate the model. And herein lies what I learned about my industry. If you can take all this information that you have so readily available, it's all out there. But let me tell you, someone needs to organize that and put it in such an order that when a brand new person comes in, how do you get them oriented to the point where in 48 hours, they're ready to step up and do what I've been doing? It's taken me weeks or a few months to learn. What if I could bring them up to speed, equip them, and allow them to come out of the blocks And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be new people won't have any understanding like I did about really what's going on, but we are going to give them a 1, 2, 3 step kind of process that's going to allow them to be productive and effective versus just busy. We'll tell them where the key points are, where the hot points are, what to say, what not to say, how to handle the objections, but we're not going to load them up. We're just going to equip them to get in and out of the blocks quickly. This is a learn as you grow, learn on the job kind of training. And that's been my expertise. Developing a systematic way that levels the playing field for all people. And I'm telling you, the newbies are going to outproduce the guys that have been in. But the guys, Tim had a big talk about how can we re-engage the 50,000. What you've done is given me now the opportunity to say, welcome all 53,000 of the participants in this crowdfund project. I will help every one of you. Why? Because that's what I've done in each network. And they all went to the $1 billion. The last one I did was $1 billion in 3.5 years with dead zero with one product. And I got in 1.5 years after it started. I got in this 1 year and 4 months after you started. Watch what happens after Tim. As a matter of fact, I think tomorrow I'm going to lay it on Tim, kind of a strategy. I've pulled together my A team. They're a SEAL team, Bobby.
He gave me a little bit of a heads up, and I'm excited, and I'm throwing everything we need at it because you're exactly right, and we've talked about it for a while. And look, I hope you understand, and I think I'm sure you do, that we're a bunch of people that are passionate about this mission.
Yep.
And we don't have all the answers. The plan, we've got the basic outline of it. But we're making adjustments as we grow. We're learning from our mistakes. We're being transparent and straightforward with people about some of these things that we're learning the hard way. So every once in a while we meet someone or we learn something or we take a gigantic step forward, and then the whole thing fundamentally changes and improves. And that has consistently happened. And we've gotten lucky so many times. And it's like, man, how do we just keep getting lucky? Because we're good people and we're doing the right thing. And so we should expect and assume that we're going to continue to get lucky because we're doing the right thing. And so that's been really powerful for me, developing a relationship with you, having something that's big enough, important enough, good enough to attract the attention of somebody with your experience and reputation is I pat myself on the back for that one. But yeah, we have so many opportunities for improvement still, so much low hanging fruit, so many stones unturned that I know that this thing is going to fill up those seats the rest of the way.
You've only just begun. And let me tell you what you quoted a universal law. It's the law of attraction. Yeah. My wife was sitting there listening to you and she's going, that guy, we're so impressed every time. And our belief level keeps going up because you're so passionate. So, but by the way, you're just not that hamster on that wheel spinning. You're always in new ground, fresh looking. You are so in tune with what's going on and where we're at. We're amazed that you can keep all this in that brain of yours so organized. So we're with you, and we want to do our part so that you can become better at your part. We're going to bring the people in.
I need it. I need it more than I can say because the next phase for us is probably one of our biggest challenges. And one of our biggest challenges is engaging mainstream crypto. I've got a plan that takes us to 16, but in order to go from 16 to 800, we need the crypto community to look at where we're doing and say, yeah, those guys are doing the right thing. They're going to resist at first, so I don't expect it to be easy. That's our biggest challenge. Our biggest challenge is transcending where we are now, getting over to mainstream crypto, inviting them to participate in our conversation, bringing them a little bit in our world, and then taking our community into their world, making sure that they know that we're not adversarial. We're not there to crush the competition. We're there to complement. We're there to learn from all the things that they've done right, learn from all the things that the crypto industry has done poorly, and bring on the next 100 million people into the crypto space. And that rising ship raises all the tides in every. It's an old joke. I can't say that phrase. It's like my
Hey,
famous
Bobby,
misspeak.
let me say one last thing and then I'm out of here. Your phase 5 is, I am so excited because Lita and I were kind of a little down when we heard about, it's America, it's, 1 million seats. I'm going, only a million. Man, that's about time I get warmed up. Well,
Right.
guess
Right.
what? I've already planted a few seeds in Asia, a few seeds in Europe, a few seeds in Africa, and a few seeds in Brazil. We're going to help you fill those million seats each time. We're going to prove the model in America. We've been around the world doing our deal. They look to America, and especially Texas. Are you kidding me? You have given me the most wonderful gifts. They are waiting for this already, and I can't wait to go with you to Asia, to Europe, to Africa.
Yeah.
And we'll prove it here, and everyone here can be involved. This is the seed, and we're going to seed those groups, but we're going to prove the model. We're going to hand over to them a provable model, a system that allows everyone to succeed equally. Now, you got to engage, and people are already asking, how do I plug in? That's the people that plug in. The brightest light in the world doesn't shine unless it's plugged in. We're going to, Tim Blake is your beautiful, love working with him. We're going to get them the tools they need to be able to go to whatever they choose with the least amount of effort and premier tools. So thank you, Bobby, for the opportunity.
Thank you for being here.
Hey,
Thanks
Brig, Tim here, real quick. I was just going to remind people. So, Brig told me that he says, Tim, I've got this coming, and he's going to be presented to me. He goes, I want you to go home and I want you to take a nap. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, I want you to go home and get really rested because I am going to wear you out, man. We are going to take this thing to the moon. I said, okay, I'll go home and take a nap.
No rest for the weary, Tim. So, yep, eat your vitamins and get ready, brother. Here we come.
Brig, thanks for jumping on last minute,
Awesome.
unannounced and unplanned. That's how we do it. That's the most authentic way we know. There's a book.
Shameless plug for Brig.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you again. Thanks, everyone. We've got a great thing going here, and I'm really excited as well that it is not coming to an end as soon as we thought. This is really just the beginning. Like you said, we've got a model. We're going to prove it out here. We're going to dial this thing in so perfectly that we can replicate it anywhere and everywhere we want to take it. And so here we go. Texit Coin. It's come so far, and yet we are learning that we've got so much further to go, which is great because I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you are too. Okay. Excuse me, Rob. Hopefully you've been tending to those annoying questions.
Been
that
working
pop up.
through them. We've got, we've got some ACH questions. If you want to hit some of those, we've got some mining questions. People curious about Victoria. So we can hit them all in order, or we can kind of jump around.
Well, let's. If you have seen something consistently popping out to you, let's start there.
Okay.
And then let's run through the questions. Now, you told me earlier that you were dismissing some of those more annoying troll type questions. Every once in a while, let me at them. Everybody likes to see angry Bobby from time to time.
Everybo's been polite tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice. Can we have a live Spanish translator? No, I don't think so. Unless you have the computer tech to do that.
Yeah, I was going to research if there's like an AI tool that would do that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I know that the recording gets published to YouTube, and YouTube probably has some of those tools built into it. But anyway, let's talk about the stuff that you notice consistently. You said ACH. What are people asking about ACH?
Yeah, so ACH is ACH and paper check only USA, correct? Question mark.
That's right. Yeah. So look, we don't know about the banking stuff in your part of the world. If we come to learn that the Canadian banking system also uses the same SWIFT-like ACH system that the US uses, then I guess we could change it for Canada. But ultimately, the ACH and paper check system is just for Americans.
Is it going to be added to the back office for upgrades or to add new miners in your back office?
It is going to be added hopefully tomorrow so that you can add miners through the back office, which is really important because we've understood that placement is really overwhelmed. The enrollment department, anything that goes to the front door that doesn't have an exact spelling, correct spelling for a miner or sponsor has to be manually researched and placed. And so they had 1,200 and something people to manually place this past Saturday.
Yeah.
It was work. So yes, we will have ACH added through the back end. I don't know about paper check. Maybe. But of course, remember, you can put it in as a peer payment and then collect paper checks and then send those in along with your peer payment to have them deducted.
How about ACH with the add miner button on the sponsorship page?
ACH with the add miner button. Yeah, it'll be there too.
Cool. Okay. Questions on the mines. Where are we at with Victoria, Conroe, etc.?
Okay, so Conroe is actually going better than Victoria. Latest update we had from Steve was that the containers are placed, everything's unloaded. I think we saw that video last week. I know that we've gotten an update since then, but I don't remember exactly what it was. It was some video, and then there was a question about electrical work. So unfortunately, I don't know off the top of my head where we're at with Conroe. Do you have any more information on Conroe than that?
No, Conroe's been going really well. It's Victoria obviously is like pretty much 98% built out, just dealing with those power issues.
Yeah, Victoria has got a power issue. So, the same thing that we learned about the power over voltage issue that we wrestled with in McKinney, we are dealing with right now in Victoria. And so the reality is that we put the wrong transformer in. It's like $70,000 for this transformer, and it's a 480 to 277 transformer, and we really needed a 480 240 transformer. But even so, same problem as McKinney, the power's coming in over voltage. So we need to put a voltage regulator in Victoria as well. Probably in the future, we'll be able to plan ahead and buy transformers with voltage regulators built into them so that way we can make small adjustments based on what we're getting out of the power company. But it is going to put us on like a 30 to 45 or 60-day delay on Victoria to get a power conditioner in there. We put the first tub into service. We blew up half the miners in that tub before we shut it down and said, okay, too much voltage. Fortunately, when they blow up, we're just blowing up the power supplies, which is not, a game over kind of disaster for us, but it's still annoying and it's cumbersome to have to go through and replace those. So we're holding on Victoria for now. We're bringing Conroe online. I don't know what the timeline is on Conroe. They said to me the other day that they thought they'd have it ready to go into service before Thanksgiving, which is extremely soon. I think that that's probably not going to happen. But I do know that it is very, very soon. And so we'll have an update for you, a better update on mining on Tuesday.
How about the price predictions for November and December? And are we going to nudge?
So let's get into price predictions. First of all, we've been ahead of schedule for a long time. Second of all, we've been kind of sympathetically discussing over the last couple of calls about how our price is probably ahead of schedule based on the main goal of building the mine. We're about 1% of the way for installed hash power. 1% of $16 would be $1.60. We're about 20%. Is that right? 16? No. Times 01 is 16 cents. 16 cents. 1% of $16 is 16 cents. So as far as installed hash power, we should be at 16 cents. We've sold 21%. So if you go 16 times 0.21, you'd put it about 336, which is about where we are today. And the installed power isn't like what we're trying to show to the world as far as our accomplishments. The installed power is directly related to our cash flow and our liquidity. And so, being about where we are now at 3.5 is kind of a comfortable place based on our sales. And we talked last week about how, the price the plan, or sorry, the path to 16 grows 40% per month. And it kind of makes the assumption that we're growing our community by 40% a month as well, because that's growing our cash flow and our liquidity and all that stuff. So if those things kind of break down and don't keep pace with each other, then sooner or later it's gonna hit a wall. And so we're seeing that wall today. Now, good news, bad news. The good news is that I think that we've got enough liquidity and enough of a plan together to start to actually climb back up to where we were, $4.50, $5, $5.29. Our goal is to be at $5.29 by the end of the month and holding the line there at $5.29. I don't know whether or not we're going to get there, because the bad news is that we're trying to work through this with our market maker. And so we've got a professional market maker that's managing this now on the bigger exchanges, Mexi, Bitmart. We just added XT. We just added a whole bunch. See if I can do a screen share and figure out what we added. Resources, CoinMarketCap. There's a whole bunch here now. Every time we look at this, there are a couple more. Markets. XT is the new one. And so every time we add a new market, we got to add additional cash. We have to pay an additional fee to the market maker. And I'm wrestling with these guys now and saying, hey, here's the plan. I need you guys to get on track to follow the plan. And they're like resisting a little bit. I don't know if it's because we don't have enough funds on deposit at these exchanges. And we've always had enough funds on deposit. You know, like I got $350,000 on Mexi now. And they're like, hey, we need you to make another deposit on Mexi. I'm like, why? We got 350 there. Like, how much more do you need? And so I'm working with these guys to get them to get back on track with the plan. And I'm not sure if they're resisting the plan or if they're dealing with some sort of technical issue that I don't understand. But once we get that resolved, I think we will see the price get back to where we want it to go. But again, we're continuing to test it. As our numbers grow, we had a great week this past week. It becomes a lot more doable from a cash flow perspective to track the plan. The first 3 days of this week are off to a terrible start. So it's anyone's guess as to, how well we'll be able to follow the plan with, the week where it is now, but it's early and we just made a big change. And so I'm staying optimistic. So at this point right now, I'm saying that I'm hoping that we get back to 529 by the end of the month. I want to remind everyone, and it's really, really difficult to remind everybody about this, that the price does not matter. We've got a plan. The plan requires us to continue growing. What's more important is that we have to focus on the growth. I know that it's difficult to get people excited about TEXITcoin if the price is dropping. We want to get to where we want to go by February, because February is when we'll have about 62,500,000 coins. And so all of these things are interrelated. I'm paying attention to it. You guys are paying attention to it. We're working through it. We have, 2-3 weeks ago when this started to become an issue, we said, okay, we think that we're still right. We just realized that we've got more sellers and more selling resistance or more selling pressure at these higher levels. So we need to make a plan for it. We made the plan for it. The plan is in effect. And now it's just a matter of getting the market makers to follow the plan again, as we were on track a long time ago with. So I'm working through that this week. Hopefully by the end of the week, we'll see a breakout and get ourselves pointed back towards the exciting numbers again.
How about buying Christmas gifts without the individual knowing about it? I'm assuming they want to give a Texit coin or Texit coins or a position to them.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea, and probably a great promotion for the month. We're going to have to find a way to build it so that you can't like buy gift cards and just use them all on your account, because we've seen that happen before. But let's get our heads together tomorrow with enrollment and with tech to figure out how we can make a gift card, because I'm sure that that's going to go over very well.
Okay. How about, do we want to talk about the new coin process again, as far as people receiving new coins and activating them?
Yeah. So we're shipping a lot of packages out. I guess, first of all, let's talk about the good news. All of the old enrollment packages that were supposed to go out to everybody before 44162 have been sent. And so before we were 6 weeks behind, then it was 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Just yesterday, did we literally catch up all the way on all the old stuff. 44162 marks a really important line, because at 44162, check your miner number. At 44162, we switched over to, okay, you're getting a generic coin in the mail. Your job is to then take that coin and to link it to your account so that your rewards that have been escrowed get dumped to that coin. And then your job is to keep that coin safe. Easy job. And so 44162 is when the switchover happened. Now, we've shipped out a couple thousand packages so far. We've got a couple thousand more to ship out. We had a very busy day this last Saturday. And so now, once again, we're back to being, a week and a half, 2 weeks behind. And so the beginning of the month, I think 44162 happened on like October 31st. And so I think that by the end of next week, we will not only be caught up across the board, but we will be now in a position to get every coin out every day. So it'll be 2-3 days before UPS or USPS shows up at your door with your welcome package. It's really important that you guys get this welcome package quickly. How can we expect you to get started and referring people inside of the first 30 days if you don't even get your welcome kit inside the first 30 days? So obvious problem there. And so now what you have to do when you get your welcome kit in the mail, open it up. There's a nice set of instructions on how to get your account activated. Log into your account, put in the coin ID that you have. You might have 1 coin, you might have 3 coins, you might have 4 coins, you might have a Texit coin and an Ethereum coin. Every kit now is supposed to be going out with the exact same thing. And so you'll get a page in the kit that shows you exactly what's going to be in the kit. Some of them are sitting around here somewhere. But again, by the end of this month, I think we'll be fully up to speed on all of the kit contents being in hand, and be able to same day, somebody joins and either same day or next day. It'll probably be next day just because of how they're done in batches. So if you join on a Monday, Tuesday, your welcome kit's in the mail, and expect that to happen early December. 2-3 days later, you get it, open it up, link it to your account, and you're good to go.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Welcome kits for international miners. Probably not.
Not going to happen. You got to show up with your TXE wallet. Look, we want you guys to have cold storage wallets the same way. Maybe we are able to wrestle with it through, fulfillment centers with Amazon or something like that later. But right now, look, it's hard to get a plan together that scales with our growth. Every time we think we've got it, we grow another 40% and we go, oh, all right, that plan's not going to work out. So at some point, someday, we'll be ready. Hopefully that day is now, because we've got some people that are telling us to buckle up and get some rest. So I think we're close. I think we're very close. And beginning of December, we'll see all the kits going out very quickly. And yes, prior to 44162, they go directly to the coin that's assigned to your account. What else you got there in the urgent list?
How about the paper check payment logistics?
Somebody's supposed to reach out to you to collect your check, get you mailing instructions. Soon that's going to be in an automated email. We have to make a note of that for our IT guys to get an automated message out through email to say, oh, you're paying with paper check. Here's our mailing address. Send it and we'll get you going. But I think at the moment right now, that's done manually.
All right. We've got some suggestions we've got 50,000 miners, but only 4K followers on Twitter. So maybe put some links in the email. I believe those are in there.
They are in there. And let's talk about social media real quick, because it's a sore spot for us. The crypto community is looking at our social media and being judgy. They're saying, what's wrong with you? You got to remember something, guys. We don't have any fake followers. We don't have any fake bots. We haven't paid for subscribers. We haven't done any advertising in the realm of social media. So everything that you see on the social media, although it's small, it's all very, very, very real. We will come to a point someday where we're going to need to decide if we want to stick with very, very, very real and kind of ignored by mainstream crypto, or do what everybody else does, which is pay for followers. I can go out and buy 100,000 followers right now on X for $8,000. You think I don't have that money? But do you want to have a real community, or would you like to have what the crypto community needs in order for them to take us seriously? It's a tough question because I look at it and I say, man, this is great. These are all real people. It's what our social media guy says too, and he's doing a good job. But we are judged based on the metrics and the parameters that the rest of the crypto community uses. And unfortunately, we're going to need to get bigger. I would like to stick with the strategy that we have now as we're filling the seats on the rocket ship. Because think about it, right? Okay, 4,000 now, we're 1/5 of the way to where we want to go. Maybe we got 20,000 very real followers. It's not nothing, but if they're real, man, I don't know. Look, we're going to have to wrestle with that question someday. Today is not the day. We're not asking for crypto to take us seriously yet. We're getting close, and that's my job as we begin to transition over to the other side of this equation. But today, the social media thing is very good. It's very real. The content's good. We need to do better. We know that, and we talk about it here all the time. So we're working on it. But at the moment, keep in mind, it's small, but it's real.
I've got a couple questions of what happens to the leftover cash potential when the last seat is sold.
Yeah, so an important thing to understand is that cash potential is not like your money. That doesn't mean that you're going to get that check someday in the mail. Cash potential is the difference between how much you've brought in and how much you've taken out, right? Cash potential really needs to be renamed, and this is a note we should make, to commission potential.
Mm-hmm.
That shifted over for the Rocketeers. We went from cash potential to commission potential. And so, so when the seats are filled and that thing is done, it goes away. It's gone.
Is it correct that there is no 30-day money back guarantee? I know some people make that personal promise, but
yeah, we wrestled with that from the very beginning. First of all, our policy is we don't want any unhappy people on the rocket ship. We really hope that people that are out there sponsoring, sharing our story and inviting other people to join us, are sharing our story honestly, the good and the bad, the risks and the rewards, the upside and the work. If you're being dishonest about, what's in it to put your cash in, then that's not good. And so if we see a lot of people wanting refunds, then we're going to have to suspend or kick a sponsor out if that ends up being a habit or a pattern. But short of that, we had a silverback guarantee for a while where you could put in your precious metals. And I think we've discontinued that as well, not because it wasn't a good program, but because nobody really wanted a refund. I remember when we had like our first one, we're like, whoa, somebody actually wants their money back? Didn't they already like make enough coins? Couldn't they have just sold their coins? And no, they just don't understand it. They don't have time. They don't want to deal with it. Okay, send them their money back. The problem with refunds is that every week points close out and commissions get awarded. So if you sign up somebody that buys a 9-pack and those points go in and somebody gets a $3,000 commission and other people get paid on that, we can't claw that commission back. And so we encourage people that want to get out to sell their spot. And it may even be worth more than what they paid for it because it's accumulated some coins. So the answer today is we still don't have an official refund policy. But the second part of that is we really don't want any unhappy people on the rocket ship. We haven't seen it happen in large quantities. I think we've had a couple here and there. And what we're doing now is we're encouraging the person that sponsored that person to buy out that spot and to resell it to the next person. So no, officially no 30-day money back guarantee.
Any updates for people coming into town for the amazing Texit Coin Christmas parade in Dallas? Are we going to have anything other than the parade planned? Is the question. And I know we have more information coming soon to the community as far as what day you're going to be there and when we need you to be there and where we need you to be.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. That's a Kristen question. I don't have anything else on the calendar. I know that we were planning a bunch of holiday parties, or at least funding a lot of holiday party budgets. I know there's a big event in Dallas on the 12th. I don't know where that is. Can give you any details about it. I know that we probably are going to have a couple holiday parties in Dallas area. We've got something in Waxahachie, something in somewhere else and something in North Dallas, but I don't think we've got plans for any of those things yet.
Yeah, I think there's some other parties in Houston and such as well. So, how's the whale hunting going?
That's a question for Gage.
Okay.
I don't know. The whale hunting, there are two parts to it. The first part is a buyer, and I don't know where we are with buyers. I know that we've had a few. I don't know if the effort that we're making is developing anything new. I know that I definitely like having Gage there with the white glove service, but I don't have any real-time updates on that right now. The second part, of course, is the whale hunting. And I think that part is probably going well. I don't know if we're amassing a surplus of buyers or sellers, so I'd have to follow up with Gage on that.
Kat asks, I'm on my TXC website back office trying to buy the coin. The price on the website says 3.65. And when they go to Coin Market Cap, it says we're at 348. Why the difference?
Yeah, remember, guys, the back office has a 5% premium on there. And that's because we're taking those sales from the back office and we're going out and buying those coins on the open market. We have an inventory right now, but we're not selling our inventory. We want the market to reflect the purchase from the back office. If you buy it on the open market, it's going to be cheaper. There's a convenience factor to doing it through the back office, but it's going to cost you 5%.
Okay. I'm going to keep scrolling through these. You want to take some of them from the top and start working down?
Yeah. Did I hear a few calls ago that the goal for mining capabilities is 1 TXC per 100 megahash? No. If that is not accurate, what is the best way to explain the capabilities per day going forward? We look at it in terms of dollars. If you do the math on whatever your 100 megahash is producing per day, then we're hoping for about a $5 per day ROI. We're way off from that right now, mostly because our price is low compared to our target in terms of the path to 16. And there's always going to be a differentiation. There's going to be a period when the mining ROI is huge, and then there's going to be a period where there's an influx of miners, and then it pushes that per seat payout down. And so ultimately, the way that we're evaluating this is how long it takes you to recover your initial money in through mining reward. And the goal was always about 200 days. And in order for us to hit that, you'd have to be at about $5 per day reward. Now, if the price goes up over time, then we might still be able to get to that 200 day, although it wouldn't be a $5 per day ROI. So don't think about the 1 TXC per day. In fact, what it's going to be is about 0.09 TXC per day once the last seat is full for that last seat. If you want more than that, you either have to buy the additional mining hash power or you've got to earn additional mining hash power through the reward programs. And so you can get much higher than 1 TXC per day, but you got to buy it or earn it. Any idea what coin store is not listed on CoinMarketCap? Yeah, we just went live on CoinStore, and it'll probably just take a few days for CoinMarketCap to pick it up. There's a bunch of new exchanges, guys. I mean, I got a whole list of new exchanges that I am not even paying attention to yet because Jay is really keeping an eye on that right now. How does the new Trump mining announcement in them building in TX affect our project? Good, bad, or indifferent? I'm kind of indifferent about it. I mentioned a few minutes ago, risk and competition. If I was those guys, I would have done what I did and we did, which is just start our own. And so as long as they're mining Bitcoin, I feel like they don't really get it. So that's weird. And I'm not trying to make any judgment. I haven't walked in their shoes, so I'm not really sure what the motivations and incentives are for them to do it the way that they're doing it. They may have some trick up their sleeve that I don't know about. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But I'm indifferent to it. I would say that in general, it's probably good. I definitely don't see it as bad. I would say it is either good or indifferent. I'm referring to the American Bitcoin company that I guess Eric Trump has made a couple posts about on social media. Look, Texas is the hotspot right now for all things mining and data centers. Immersion cooling has made it possible to put mining hardware in places where the energy is abundant and cheap, but the weather might not be great. Temperatures are high. And whereas traditionally you're parking this stuff up by the North Pole because it generates a lot of heat. And so immersion cooling changes that. So we're definitely in the right place. We're definitely here at the right time. The political climate for us to do what we're doing is unbelievable. $130+ million in, and all clear signs for us. I don't want to get too deep into that discussion right now, but I think that there are many indicators that we're doing this at exactly the right time, exactly the right way. So I would say that it's generally good. I'm thinking it's more indifferent than anything. But at some point, someday there will be competition for us. We've got a head start. We got to take it and run. Is the commission shown on the use of funds diagram? Total commission, including the commission used for BOGO and Supernova? Yes, it is. The commission includes all the commission that's earned. What we do with that commission, whether it's paid out in cash, USDC, TXC, or used for additional hash power, is not clearly indicated. But I did have a meeting with our team earlier today, hoping that we can continue, that we can actually get that clarification there so you can see how that commission is getting used. Are we in any way under the rules or oversight by the central bank? Not that I know of. If your position has more than 9 points after the week, it flushes. I had 15 on one side on Sunday. It flushed. Look, we stopped counting at 9. Okay, like I said, it's one of our gotchas. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. We stopped counting. You'll see the points there as if they are over 9. But that's really just to give you an idea of what's happening throughout your entire organization. But we stopped counting at 9. So if you look at your actual commission, it'll say, okay, you started the week with 0, 0. During the week, you got 127 and 63. Which means at the end of the week, you had 9 and 9, which means you qualify for the $3,000. We deduct 9 and 9, and you go to 0, 0. So anything over 9 counts as 9, and anything that's matched gets deducted. So if you end the week with 9 and 9, you start the following week with 0 and 0. It would be really great if you started the week with 6 and 0 with 15 and 9, but unfortunately, that means we'd have to pay out on every point for everybody forever, and that would break our comp plan. One of our gotchas. Hello, will you be getting the weekly report access back anytime soon? Yeah, it's actually still there if you know how to type the URL in. We just don't have it linked from anywhere, and I will get with the developers to add weekly reports to our community page. Jeannie writes, a crypto-savvy prospect asked today how we own mines in a custodial fashion years after logging into the back office in case that is not available. He asked for the purpose of willing to his children, etc. So remember, we've got two kind of mining infrastructures. The one is data centers that we control, and the second one is in-home mining units that we're sending out to people all over the state. Our goal is that the majority of our hash power is actually run by in-home miners. We need to have 35 megawatts of power for us to kind of register on the global conversation. And so we may ultimately see the shift from 35 sites, 35 megawatts to more in-home mining, but that's going to be based on the, growth of the actual community, the willingness of that community to actually plug something in at home. At this point right now, we don't have any custodian rights or titles or deeds to the shared mining facilities. And that's mostly because the mining units that we have right now run at 16,500 mega hash, and one seat on the rocket ship is only 100. So there's really no way to deed out 100 mega hash from that 16,500. So we'll wrestle with that as we get bigger and as we see more miners go out to people's homes where you actually are in possession of that mining hardware yourself. Can we get a brochure that has grandkids and grandparents to show generational wealth as being different nationalities as our country is a blend? Do we have too many white people in our brochure? Is that what you're saying? We need some brochures with different colors. That is an interesting idea, and I will have to pass that along to our design department for their consideration. It's not unfair. I will definitely give you that. To be clear, from Swappy, you get the points from your downline. If one personally chooses double hash, it flows up your upline, but not counted for you personally. Correct? Drew the short straw again. I'm going to make you jump on camera next time to ask these questions, young lady. So I think what you're asking is your downline. If your downline earns commission, takes the commission in hash power. Those points flow all the way up through your entire organization. So everyone above that spot that took the hash power gets a point for it. Everyone does. And so everybody could qualify for Supernova. So it flows up your upline, but not counted for you personally. No, it counts for you personally.
Mm-hmm.
It counts a lot of ways for you personally. If you sponsor someone that takes a hash power upgrade, it increases the points that you have for them, which increases your commission potential as well. That's a really big deal. And then if they're all the way down here, all that point goes all the way up the organization. Remember, we count to infinity. So I think you're wrong there, Swappy. Everyone gets points for it. If you take the hash power upgrade, you don't get a point for it. Everyone above you gets that benefit. So what we're really trying to do is trying to get you to teach your community, that's everybody on your left and everybody on your right, how to go out there and build and grow. Then you're educating them on the difference between taking their commission in USDC, TXC, or hash power. They don't have to do it any way that they don't want to, but if they'd like to take it in hash power, that does put a point up there for everybody in that organization. Steve says, any chance the welcome packet info can be updated with current info? It references FTX and its owner SBF as soon to face federal charges. That's dated info. Ooh, I just got 20,000 more of them printed. So that would have been good feedback for like last week. Maybe make sure what's included is relevant and up to date. That is a good idea. Rob, can you make a mention of that? Make a note.
Yeah.
Do we have a team of legal eagles that are on board to protect Texit? No, we do not. Leon says, you said that all the old packs were sent out. I have 2 builder packs going on 8 weeks now that haven't been shipped out, and I am in Florida. I've contacted support a couple times already in the last few weeks, and no updates are given. Should I continue to wait or send more tickets in? Well, I don't know if tickets are the right way to go. I would reach out to a sponsor or a ranger to find out what's going on. They should be able to track down a tracking number for you. If there isn't a tracking number, then we're missing some coins, and we need to get to the bottom of that sooner rather than later, because coins that go missing in the mail are expensive. Hi there, Lori. What do we do with the extra non-TXC coin? I've had mine since early August, and they all say 0. So you're going to get an Ethereum coin in your welcome kit. The Ethereum coin is what we will pay out commission to in USDC. It is the way to do it, unless you go in there and replace that with some other USDC address like a Coinbase account, which is totally fine as well. Remember, the coin that we send you, that Ethereum coin, it gives you full access and full control to your crypto. If you send it off to Coinbase and Coinbase freezes your account, or you give us the wrong address and you gave us the Base or the Polygon or the Binance Smart Chain address, it might not make it to the exchange the correct way. But on your cold storage Ethereum coin, you always have full access and control to it. If there's nothing on it, then hold tight. If there's something supposed to be something on it, then put a support ticket in. What's up, Bob's iPhone